is the answer to last video's challenge question. The answer to this question might be similar to a few of you. This checkmate pattern is known as the smothered mate. First we play knight to e7 check. Then he is forced to play king to f8. This part is really important. The quickest way is a surprising move. Knight to g6. This move is actually double check. The queen and the knight both check the king at the same time, so that black cannot take the knight as the queen would still be checking the king. Therefore, he would have to move to either e8 or g8. If he moved to e8, then we'd have checkmate on e7 right away. So what if he moved to g8? Then there is this move, queen to f8. By playing this, we are forcing him to take with the rook. Notice that our knight is protecting the queen so that the king cannot take. After he does so, there is checkmate. Can you find it? I hope that you found that it was knight to f7. It's called the smothered mate as all his pieces are stopping the king from moving away, so the knight can deliver the mate. Today, I will be going through in-between moves, which are also known as intermediate moves and, if you are German, Zwischenzugs. The definition of an intermediate move is when you go back to do one of your ideas, but you pick up a bonus on the way. Let's have a look at this position. What can you see? There is the queens lined up against each other with a knight in between. And notice that this knight leads to another knight which leads to check. So let's play our in-between move or intermediate move. Knight to takes d5. Now he has no better move but to take our queen, because if he moves it away to a6, then we just simply take his knight, and we have won a free knight for nothing. So let's say he takes our queen on d2. Now we could just take it back right now, but there's a problem. We just took this knight on d5, but he didn't take it back, so we've done everything for nothing. So let's play the in-between move. Knight takes e7. This move is a check, which is usually what in-between moves are. And we have taken two knights on these two squares, and we will definitely be winning one of them. Even if he moves his king away, if he moves his queen away, then we can just take this g6 bishop, getting even more points. So he has no better move but to take on e7. Now we have to go back and remember what happened. We have to go back and take this queen. Now, if you count up the material, you will realize that white is up this extra knight. Now, how did it all happen? Well, it started when we took this knight on d5 and forced black to take our queen. But since black never retook our knight, we took another knight. And when he took back, it is clear that we traded two knights for only one of our own. Then after everything cleared, we took the queen on d2. Now I will be giving you another example of in-between moves or intermediate moves, and I will be letting you solve this one. In this position, black the material is equal, but black wants to win, and so he wants to fork our bishop and queen and plays the move e5. This move attacks both our bishop and queen at the same time. Now, I want you to go back and look how you can play an in-between move to save both our white queen and bishop. And notice that we cannot just take as the black pawn will just simply take back. And this knight is also defending, so there is no way we can win that pawn. I hope that you have found the move queen to a4, check. What this move does is that it checks the black king and gives us time to move our bishop away. I don't care if he blocks with the queen or the knight, neither if he moves his king away, but when he does one of them, we will have the time to move our bishop away to a square like d2. Now both our queen and bishop are safe. And black has no advantage whatsoever. Now I will be giving you one last example of an in-between move, and as always, the end of video challenge question that will, as always, be answered in the next video. In this position, you are black and it is your turn. Now, I want you to know a few things before you try finding the in-between move. Firstly, there is a rook on f1 that can be taken by our bishop. Bishops are worth 3, rooks are worth 5. We could just simply take the rook right now, and there's nothing wrong about it. But notice that when we take, his rook or king could just take back. We are only winning 2, which has no certainty that we will win this position. But what if I told you that there was an in-between move in this position? Now, I said that most in-between moves were with checks involved, but not all of them. Positions like this one, doesn't have an in-between move involved, but it still gives a lot of benefits. Now, I want you to find a move that is an in-between move that will win even more material than just 2 points. This move is kind of tricky, but I believe that you can do it. Great job if you found the move bishop to c4. Know a few things about this move. Firstly, the queen cannot move to any square but c2 and c3. All of these squares that I have highlighted are controlled in some way. But notice what happens if he moves to any of these squares. Notice what they both have in common. Yes, they are both on the open c file, which has a rook on it. Now, I hope that you've watched my video on discovered attacks. That if you watched it, you will know that when he moves his queen, for example, to c3, we can play a discovered attack. Now, the best move is actually bishop takes f1. Now, note that he can't take back with his rook nor his king, as we will just simply take his queen. When he moves to a square like e5, he doesn't have the time to take our bishop, and we will just move back to a square like a6, which even blocks his queen from taking our pawn and gets our bishop to safety. It was all because of the in-between move bishop to c4, which stopped halfway from taking the rook on f1. But it turned out that we won 3 more points than what we would have won if we had just taken in the first place. Now I will be giving you the end of video challenge question, which, like I said earlier, will be resolved in the next video. This position is also about in-between moves. This example is from a real game between Savili Tartakawa and former world champion Jose Raul Capablanca. Now, Capablanca was black, and white just played the move, bishop takes b8, thinking that he could trick Capablanca. Now, the idea was that if black took back, then white would check on a4, which is a clear fork of the king on e8 and the bishop on b4. But if you were Capablanca in this position, what would you do? It is an in-between move. And this one might be a bit tricky, but I know you will find it. That's it for today, and thank you for your time. If you enjoyed the content, please consider to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.